Yeah, fine. So, uh, today we are going to discuss about um, mini batch gradient descent optimization algorithm and how it will help a simple linear regression model to learn based on the available data. Based on the available data, right? So before going to mini batch gradient descent optimization, just trying to we are trying to recollect the information what we discussed in the yesterday and day before yesterday's class, especially for SGD and BGD. In stochastic gradient descent optimization method, we consider a sample and we calculate error and we update the model parameters. Later we will consider another sample and update the model parameter. Like that means in stochastic gradient descent optimization, we will update the model parameter after each sample. Take the first sample and update the parameter, second sample update the parameter, third sample update the parameters. So for each sample we are going to update the model parameter. That may be a simple linear regression or multi-regression or ANN, whatever it may be. The model parameters will be updated for every sample. Whereas in case of the batch gradient descent optimization, we are consider all the samples available in the dataset at a time. After that, we are updating the model parameters. We are taking all the samples in the dataset and we are computing the error, that is called mean square error or half mean square error, and later we are updating the model parameter. That is in case of the batch gradient descent optimization. Whereas in mini batch gradient descent optimization, what we are doing is we are splitting the complete training dataset into a mini batches, small batches. Here we are not updating the model sample by sample, or we are not updating the model by taking all the samples at a time. What we are doing here is, in a training dataset, we split the complete training dataset into the small chunks or small datasets, small batches, right? So after splitting the complete data into small batches, now give all the samples in one batch, one small batch to the model, and compute the error and later update the model parameters. So what I want to convey with you is, in case of the mini batch gradient descent optimization, we have to split the complete dataset into small batches, and we will pass the complete batch, the small batch samples in each batch, we are passing to the simple linear regression model or any other machine learning model, and compute the error and update the model parameter. So what it means? So I am asking one question. So if you are able to understand what I am telling, then give me back the answer. Suppose your training dataset has 100 samples. Your batch size is 10. Batch size means number of samples in one batch. Fine. So you have total 100 samples and you have 10 batch. Batch size is 10. Then what are the total number of batches available? 10, right? So in each batch we have the 10 samples. We have total number of batches equal to 10. So total 100 samples we have, right? Now my question is, how many times we have, suppose we are train the model for 100 iterations. We are going to train the model for the 100 iterations. Then total number of total number of times the model parameter m will be updated. How many times the model parameter m will be updated? How many times the model parameter m will be updated? 1000 times. It is 1000 times. It is 1000 times. So ns, that nothing but the total number of samples available in the data set. Let us assume it is 100, and total number of epochs equal to 100. Sorry, total number of epochs equal to 100 and number of samples also 100. And your batch size bs equal to 10. So batch size means number of samples in each batch. Batch size means number of samples in each batch, right? Fine. Now then total number of batches equal to total number of samples divided by total batch size. That's equal to 100 divided by 10. That's equal to 10. There is these number of batches are available. Now what does mini batch gradient descent optimization doing is, so it will pass all the samples in one batch at a time, update the model parameter. Now pass all the samples in the second batch, update the model parameter. Pass all the samples from the third batch and update the parameter. Similarly, you have to pass all the samples from the 10th batch and update the model parameters. Right? That means we are passing all the samples of one batch at a time. Not sample by sample, not all samples at a time. We are passing a batch by batch. So as we have the 10 batches, so how many times the model parameter m will be updated? That's equal to, because we have the 10 batches, right? So 10 batches means you pass all the samples in the first batch and update the model parameter. Second batch, update the model parameter. Third batch, update the model parameter. 10th batch, update the model parameter. That means in one iteration you have to update 10 times. You are updating 10 times, right? For one iteration. But how many number of iterations we are running this training algorithm? That is the 100. So 10 into 100, that's equal to 1000. That's equal to 1000. Right? Fine. Suppose in case of, suppose if the same problem I am asking for the stochastic gradient descent optimization method, then it will be the model parameter m will be updated for each sample. So it will be 100 samples 100 times into 100 iterations. That's equal to 10,000. Whereas in case of batch gradient descent optimization, that is in one iteration, one time only we are updating the model parameter, because we have the 100 iterations. So 1 into 100, that's equal to 100 times. Fine. So in case of the mini batch, how many times the model parameter is updating, that is depending upon the batch size and number of samples available in the data set. Right? So I want to discuss the step-by-step procedure of the algorithm. Now see. So first step is we have to read the data set which contain the one input and one output. Later you have to initialize eta, learning rate, and n, number of batches, and epochs, how many number of iterations you want to run, and initialize the model parameters with some random value m0 and c0. Sometimes they will give directly number of batches, sometimes they may give the batch size, right? So if they give the batch size, you have to calculate the number of batches, or if they give directly number of batches, then no issue, it's n number of batches. That means you have to split the complete data into n number of batches. Okay. Later set iteration equal to 1, that means we are starting the iteration count, that's equal to 1. Later we have to set batch I equal to 1. In case of the stochastic gradient descent optimization, we are taking the sample I equal to 1, because for each sample we have to update the parameter. But now we have to update the parameter for each batch, not for each sample. So that's why I have to increment the batch by batch. First batch, second batch, third batch, fourth batch, fifth batch, like that. That's why I am starting the batch count, batch I equal to 1. not sample, batch. So batch wise it is updating. So batch I equal to 1. What next? We have to calculate the gradient of the error function or half mean square error function, or we can call it as a cost function, or we can call it as a loss function. So we have to calculate the gradients of the loss function or cost function or error function with respect to the modular parameter m and also with respect to the modular parameter c. So that's equal to, so I had forget here one thing, that is we have to keep 1 by 2. It is a gradient, right? So I hope you understand, right, how we are getting this expression. In case of the, here actually we have to keep ns. Ns is the number of samples. Here we have to keep ns, that is the number of samples, right? In case of stochastic gradient descent optimization, here we are keeping the 1 because we are updating the model parameter by sample by sample. In case of batch gradient descent optimization, we are taking here ns, and here also we are considering ns. That means all number of samples at a time. All number of samples at a time, right? But whereas in case of the mini batch gradient descent optimization, we have to update the model parameters over a batch, right? Over a batch, not for all samples, ns samples, not for the individual sample. So we have to update for 1 by n, right? So that's equal to, so there is a, it must be a batch size. That means number of samples in the it must be a batch size. That is the number of samples in the in each batch, right? Because whiteboard problem I am unable to explain properly. So this is a dou E by dou m. So this n will represent the number of samples in the batch. Fine. So minus 1 by n, that's the minus sign we are considered because in the gradient descent optimization technique we are taking the negative sign, because if the slope is positive we have to move the point over the negative slope. If slope is negative we have to move the point in the positive slope. So minus 1 by n sigma equal to 1 to n. So this is for the dou E by dou m value, and whereas for the dou E by dou c value, so we will not get this term here. Only change is in case of the batch gradient, here we are taking the ns because we have the ns number of samples in a batch, in complete batch, complete training data. But in case of the mini batch gradient, we have the n number of samples. We have the n number of samples, right? So like that we have to calculate the gradient of a loss function with respect to the model parameter m and model parameter c, right? So after calculating the gradient, what we have to do? We have to update the model parameter, or we can calculate the step length. So step length equal to delta m equal to minus eta into gradient dou f by dou x or dou E by dou m. So minus eta dou E by dou m, that's equal to, see friends, already we have the minus sign. Already we have the minus sign here. So that's why in this equation minus into minus plus. So eta divided by 1 by n into sigma equal to 1 to n yia minus m into xia minus c into xia. Just I am replacing the dou E by dou m value. I am replacing the dou E by dou m value from here, and I am replacing the dou E by dou c value from 39 equation here. So finally we are getting the step length for the model parameter m and step length for the model parameter c like this 14, 41. After getting the step length, we have to update the model parameter m equal to m plus delta m and c equal to c plus delta c. The delta m and delta c are coming from the equation number 40 and 41. Once the model parameters are updated, we have to update your batch count. You have to update your batch count. If your batch count is greater than the number of batches available, in the number of batches available, then you have to go to the next step, that is step 9. Suppose if your batch count is less than or equal to total number of batches, then you have to go to gradient here, step 5. Again you have to calculate the gradient based on the current batch, for the current batch, right? So that's it. Suppose, fine. So let us assume if the batch count exceeds the total number of batches available, then you have to go to step 9, and here you have to update the iteration count. You have to update the iteration count, right? So if the iteration is greater than the number of epochs, maximum number of iterations, then you have to go to next step, step 10. Suppose if iteration count is less than or equal to number of iterations, maximum number of iterations you initialized, then we are going to the step number 4, where we have to start from the first batch again. We have to start from the first batch again, right? So I will do the numerical example, then you can easily understand. So let us assume you are reaching the maximum number of epochs. You are reaching the maximum number of epochs. Then you have to go to the next step. So where you have to calculate the mean square error for both training and testing data set. Mean square error for both training and testing data set. And you have to stop it. So this is an algorithm for mini batch gradient descent optimization. So I will explain this one with a small numerical example. Fine. Let us assume my data set is, .2, that is x equal to 0.2. Fine. I will write like this, x and y. So it is a 0.2, corresponding value is 3.4, and it is a 0.4 and corresponding value is 3.6, and I will 0.2, 0.4 and 0.4 3.8 and 0.6 4.2, 0.6 4.2 and 0.8 4.6, 0.8 4.6. Let us assume this is the data set. Now I want to predict the y value based on the x value using simple linear regression model. So for that, what I have to do? So I have to so for the first step one is you have to read the data, x and y, and later assume eta value, that is called learning rate, that's equal to 0.1. Let us assume number of epochs equal to 1. It is for numerical calculation, because we are doing the hand calculations. I am taking the only one iteration. Okay, and next we have to initialize the model parameter values, m equal to 1 and c equal to -1, m equal to 1 and c equal to -1. I think most of the parameters are initialized. All the parameters, required parameters, are initialized in the first step, right? Now in the step 2, what you have to do? In step 2, what you have to do? So you have to split the data. So, and you have to, what else I have forgot here? So I have to initialize batch size, BS. I have to initialize batch size, BS. So batch size equal to 2. Let us assume batch size equal to 2. So batch size means number of samples in each batch. Okay. Now, so if the batch size equal to 2, and what is the NS? NS means number of samples in the data set. That's equal to 4. NS means number of samples in the data set, that's equal to 4. BS is the batch size initialized. M and C values are the model parameter. Initial values are 1 and -1. Number of epochs, I want to run this iterative algorithm for one time, and eta learning rate, that's equal to 0.1. So now if batch size equal to 2, then total number of batches will be, how many batches will be available? If the batch size equal to 2, then total number of batches available, that's equal to, that's equal to NS divided by BS, that's equal to 4 divided by 2, that's equal to 2, right? So as the total number of samples are 4 and batch size is the 2, so total number of batches will be available equal to 2. Total number of batches equal to 2. So in each batch we have the 2 samples. So 2 batches, 2 into 2, 4 samples, all 4 samples, right? In step 2, what we have to do? We have to split the data. You have to split the data into 2 batches, right? Into 2 batches, because your batch size is 2. Sorry, your number of batches equal to 2. As your number of batches equal to 2, so you have to split the data into 2 batches. You have to split the data into two batches. Okay. Now what I am doing is I want to split the data into 2 batches. It is done randomly, but our numerical calculation, I want to take first 2 samples as one batch. I want to take first 2 samples as one batch, and next 2 samples as another batch. Next 2 samples as another batch. Sorry. Fine. So now your batch, first batch contains the 2 samples. That is the 0.2 3.4 and 0.4 3.8. And second batch contains the 2 samples, 0.6 4.2 and 0.8 4.6. Like that, you have to split the data into batches. That is called mini batches. That is called mini batches. So this is otherwise I will write one thing here. Insert column left. Okay. So it's a batch, right? So this is called one batch. Sorry. So this is the first batch. This is the first batch, and this is the second batch. This is the second batch, right? So what I am doing here is, so based on the initial information, batch size and number of samples available, I am splitting the data into 2 batches, because number of available batches equal to 2. I am splitting the data into 2 batches. Splitting the data into 2 batches, right? So once we are splitting the data into 2 batches, what is the step 3? Step 3 is, third step is, you have to set iteration count iter equal to 1. That means you are in the first iteration. We are in the first iteration. What is the step 4? Step 4 is the batch. So we are taking the set batch equal to 1. We are taking the first batch. Right? So what we are doing here? Step 5. In step 5, what we are doing? Now what you have to do is, you have to pass all the samples in the first batch to the model and calculate the gradient. Right? So anyone can tell what will be the, I will write GM. So GM is nothing but gradient with respect to the model parameter M. Gradient of a loss function, gradient of a error function with respect to the model parameter. I am calling it as a GM. So ఇక్కడ ఏం వస్తుంది ఎవరైనా చెప్పగలరమ్మా? What will be the GM expression for first batch? That means we are passing all the samples in the first batch at a time, and we have to compute the gradient. So ఎవరైనా చెప్పగలరమ్మా? Minus, I will open a square bracket and open a small bracket. So what it will be the value here? ఇక్కడ ఏముంటుందో చెప్పండి. YIA means what is the value from the, we are doing a numerical calculation. So what is the value will be here?
3.4.
Perfect. So 3.4 minus M value we are initialized as 1. So 1 multiplied by 0.2 minus C.
1.
Yeah, minus C means it's the minus 1, right? So it's the plus 1. Yeah, perfect. Multiplied by
into 0.2.
Point. Perfect. Next, what may be next expression? Plus, right? Perfect. Plus 3.8, right? That means we are taking the second batch now. We are second sample in the first batch. 3.8 minus
1 into 0.4 plus 1 into 0.4.
That's it. Right? So thank you. 0.4. Right. That means we are passing the first sample in the batch 1, and also we are passing the second sample in the batch 1, and we are computed based on the both samples. We are computed the gradient based on the both samples. And what else I forgot here? Anyone can tell? ఒక టర్మ్ నేను మిస్ చేశాను, ఒక వాల్యూ మిస్ చేశాను, అదేంటో చెప్పగలరా ఎవరైనా?
1 by number of
Yes,
samples.
Number of
perfect. Right. So
samples.
1 by number of samples in that
Number
batch.
of
There is a
samples.
only 2 samples in the batch, right? So it is the 1 by 2. That means into 0.5. That's equal to into 0.5. So we have to calculate some value. So ఈ value ఏమై ఉంటుంది, minus 0.5 into minus 0.5 into here 3.4 plus 1, 4.4 minus 0.2, that's equal to 4.2 plus 3.8 plus 1, 4.8, 4.8 minus 0.4, 4.4, so I think, sorry, into 0.2 plus 3.8 plus 1, 4.8 minus 0.4, that's a 4.4 into 0.4, right? This 0.5 already coming in the front side, I just keep in the front side. So that's equal to minus 0.5 multiplied by, so 4.2 into 0.2, that's equal to 0.84 plus, so what it will be, 4.4 into 0.4, 16, 1.76, 1.76, I think, 1.76.
Total
That's it.
1.3, sir.
So final value
1.3.
1.34. Thank you. So your gradient is 1.34 with respect to the GM. So what will be the GC? That means gradient of a loss function with respect to the modular parameter C. So that will be equal to almost same. All will be coming to the picture. Only difference is same value coming to the picture here. So what we have to remove from here? This XA value will not come, right? While calculating the dou F by dou C or dou E by dou C, the X value will not come into picture. Y minus Mx minus C, that's it, right? So just why I am removing this term and also I am removing this term. So remaining all are same, right? I will see the expression. In the sigma term, in the dou E by dou C, there is no X term. So that's why I am removing the X terms, 0.2 and 0.4 here. So finally we have the some value. So ఈ వాల్యూ ఏమవుతుందమ్మా, ఎవరైనా చెప్పగలరా? So 3.4 plus 1, 4.4 minus 3.4 plus 1, 4.4 minus 0.2, that is equal to 4.2 and plus 4.4, I think 4.4 into 0.5, that's equal to, sorry, right, that's equal to 8.6, 4.3, it is a minus 4.3, right? So we are calculated the gradient.
Sir?
Madam?
So you're continuing with the same batch gradient today also? Actually, I joined little late.
No,
I
madam.
couldn't. What are you discussing? I'm sorry, sir. What you're discussing now?
Madam, we are discussing the mini batch gradient descent optimization.
Mini batch.
Mini batch
Okay,
gradient.
sir.
Yesterday we are discussing about the batch gradient. In batch gradient, we
Yeah.
are taking all the samples in the batch at a time. But in case of the
Okay,
mini
okay,
batch
sir.
gradient, we have to split the data into batches, multiple batches. So I'm splitting the
Different
data
batches.
into 2 batches. Now we have to compute the error and update the parameter for each batch. Update the parameters for
Okay,
each
okay,
batch.
sir.
So I am
Okay,
passing
sir.
the first batch. I am calculating the gradients. So what next we have to do? Step 6. So we can update the model parameters. How we can update the model parameter? M equal to M minus eta into gradient, right? So what is the value of M? M value is 1 minus eta value we are assuming as a 0.1, so 0.1 multiplied by what is the GM value that is coming from here, that is a minus 1.34, right? It is a minus 1.34, so minus 1.34, so minus 1.34, so that's value equal to, new value of M equal to 1.134. Similarly you have to update the C also. So C equal to C minus eta, that is called learning rate, multiplied by GC, that's equal to, what is the value of C? What is the value of C? C equal to minus 1 minus eta 0.5 into what is the value of GC? So GC value equal to minus 4.3. Minus 4.3. So that's equal to minus 1 plus, so 0.5 into 4.3 means it is a 2.15. 2.15. So that's equal to that's equal to emission value. This is a 1.15. It is a 1.15. So these are the updated M and C values. Now we have to check.
Sir,
చెప్పండమ్మా.
sir, eta value 0.1, sir. You kept point, sir.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your observation. Okay, so then it's the plus and 0.43, right?
1.4.
Minus into minus plus and 0.43 minus 1. So finally we have the minus 0.57 minus 0.57. We have the C value. Okay. Now what you have to do in the step 7, next step what you have to do? So we have to update your batch count. You have to update your batch count. So your batch count, your batch equal to batch plus 1, that's equal to, your current batch is 1, right? So 1 plus 1, that's equal to 2. Now we will check whether your batch count exceeds the number of batches or not. So number of batches equal to, number of batches we are calculated already. Number of batches equal to 2, right? So now what is your batch count? 2. So it's not exceeding. Then we have to go to again step 5. Again we have to go to again step 5. In step 5 what you have to do? Step 5. So again you have to calculate the gradient GM. So that's equal to, ఇప్పుడు ఏమొస్తుందమ్మా, GM equal to minus within the square bracket, open the brackets. So చెప్పగలరా ఎవరైనా? So I will, yeah. So what are the expressions here? Now we are in the second batch.
Second batch.
We are in the second batch.
4.2
4.2
minus 1.134
right, 1.134 multiplied by
into 0.6
0.6
plus
minus,
0.57.
yeah, it's a plus 0.57, right?
Sir.
Multiplied by
0.6
plus, I can open and close the brackets.
plus
Yeah, 4.6
4.6 minus
1.134
into 0.8
plus
plus
0.5
0.5 into
multiplied by
0.6
0.6.
divided by
Yes, so divided by 2, that means into 0.5, right? So like that you have to calculate the gradient of a loss function with respect to the modular parameter M. Similarly, we have to calculate the gradient of a loss function with respect to the modular parameter C. So here what are the change actually? So there is no extra will be coming to the picture. So I want to remove this 0.6, multiplied with 0.6 and also multiplied with 0.8. Right? So we have the GM and GC values, right? So now we have the GM and GC values. So after calculating the GM and GC values, next what we have to do? Step 6. So we have to update the modular parameter. Then M equal to M minus eta into gradient with respect to M. So that's equal to, what is the M value now? So M value will be 1.134. So it is the 1.134 minus eta value 0.1, let us assume, into GM value we have to calculate, that is coming from here. The GM value will be coming from here, right? So you have to replace that GM value here. Right? And similarly you have to update the modular parameter C also. So C equal to C minus eta multiplied by eta multiplied by GC, right? So that's equal to, what is the value of C? Minus 0.57 minus eta 0.1 into GC value. That GC value will be coming from here, right? So now we are updating the model parameter also for the second batch. Now what we have to do? Step 7. So you have to update your batch count. You have to update your batch count. So batch equal to batch plus 1. You have to update your batch count. Batch equal to batch plus 1. That's equal to, already current batch is 2 means, so 2 plus 1, that's equal to 3. So you are exceeding the number of batches, number of available batches. Number of available batches for us is 2. But you are exceeding the, you are getting the batch count 3. So you exceeds. So then what you have to do? Step 8, you have to update the iter count. So iter equal to iter plus 1, that's equal to 1 plus 1. That's equal to 2. Now we have to check whether you are reaching the max number of iterations or not. So max number of iterations, what you set in the initially is 1, right? So but your iteration count is 2. Your iteration count is 2. So it exceeds. It exceeds means you have to go to step 9, where you have to read the latest M and C values, and also you have to calculate the mean square error and other error matrices on both training and testing dataset. On both training and testing dataset. Right? So because we have to stop here, because we set the number of iterations, max number of iterations equal to 1, right? Suppose if you set max number of iterations equal to 2, suppose if you set max number of iterations equal to 2, then here current iteration is 2, so it's not exceed the max number of iterations. Then we have to move to which step? Then we have to move to which step here?
Step 5.
No. Kaadu kada?
Sorry, step 4, sir.
Yes, yeah, right. You have to go to step 4. So again you have to take the first batch. In the second iteration, again you have to start from the first batch and update the model, calculate the gradients and update the model parameter. Later move to the second batch, calculate the gradients and update the model parameter. Later you have to update the iteration count. So this process will be repeated in case of the mini batch gradient descent optimization.
So show me the step 1 and step 2, no, please.
Here, madam. Yeah.
Yeah, step 1 and step 2, please.
Yes, step 1 is similar to the SGD and batch gradient, madam. Only one more parameter comes into picture here. So first you have to read the data set x and y. You have to read the data set x and y and set learning rate eta equal to 0.1. Set learning rate eta equal to 0.1 and
Okay.
set number of iterations and initialize the model parameters with randomly, and you have to read the number of samples in the dataset 4, and you have to set batch size. So here batch size is the one of the hyperparameter.
Okay. Sir, you have sent me this data now in the mail. You have sent it, right?
Madam,
Have you sent this to the mail?
this data, madam.
Yeah.
Yeah, this data is available on the our Google Colab notebook, madam. I will share. once again.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it will be available in the Google Colab notebook. The data. Yeah, this is the data.
Okay, sir. Actually, my system is not working today, so that's
It's
why
okay,
everything is
fine,
wrong.
no problem, madam.
I'm in my phone now, so I couldn't.
Oh. Okay. So this is the number procedures for how mini batch gradient descent optimization method will help the simple linear regression model, or same approach will be applicable for any type of the machine learning model. So what the thing is, first of all, you have to read the complete training data set, and you have to split the your complete training data set into the some small mini batches based on your batch size parameter, batch size, how much batch size you are giving, based on that one you have to give. Let us assume if your number of samples in your data set is 10, the number of samples in your data set is 10 and batch size is 2, then number of batches will be, number of mini batches will be, your training data set contains the 10 samples and your batch size, sorry, mini batch size is 2, then total number of batches will be available.
5 batches.
That is the 5 batches. So that is the number of batches will be depending upon the your batch size. So batch size is the one of the hyperparameter if you want to use the mini batch gradient descent optimization technique. So that is designed by the ourselves. We have to try with different type of batch sizes. So I will come to conclusions about mini batch and batch gradient and stochastic gradient. I hope you understand this numerical problem, how the model will be updated with mini batch gradient descent optimization method. Hope you understand, right? So what we have to do, first read the data, split the data into number of batches based on the batch size. Now pass each batch to the model, update the model parameters, and you have to repeat this one until all batches are covered. Once all batches are covered, then you have to update your iteration count. So this process will be repeated until how many number of iterations you set initially, right? Okay, so I hope you understand the step-by-step procedure. Now we will try to correlate. Now next 5 to 10 minutes will be a mostly interactive. So we are going to compare stochastic gradient, mini batch gradient, and batch gradient. Fine. So first question I want to ask you is, if possible, if you are understand, if you are able to write give the correct answer, then I think that what I am telling it's reached to all of you. Let's assume TS is the total computation time for the total time taken by the simple linear regression model to train by using the stochastic gradient descent optimization method. Okay, na? So TS is the total training time of simple linear regression model using the stochastic gradient descent optimization method. Okay, na? SGD. Second, TB. So this is the total training time, or total time taken by the simple linear regression model to train by using the batch gradient descent optimization. And TM, I am taking another. TM is the total time taken by the MBGD, mini batch gradient descent optimization method. Fine. Mini batch gradient descent optimization method. Fine. Now friends, my question is, suppose if I run the iterative algorithm for same number of iterations, that means maximum number of iterations, number of epochs, maximum number of epochs equal to 100 for all the algorithms. For all the algorithms, I want to train my model for 100 epochs only. I want to train my model using the SGD for 100 epochs. I want to train the model for BGD with 100 epochs. I want to train the model for MBGD with the 100 epochs. Then these are the computation times. Now please tell me, among TS, TB and TM, which will be the large value?
TS.
It is a, please.
TS.
TS. It is TS, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, SGD.
what is the fast computation? That means which will take the less time?
TB.
And
It is a
DB, sir. BGD.
BGD, right? BGD.
300.
MBCD.
BGD, right? So whereas the TM will be lying between these two. I think you agree, right? TM will be
Yes, sir.
lying between these two. Mini batch will be lying between these two, right? So I can say that TS is more and it is more, right? Fine. Suppose if a number of batches I have considered, batch size I have considered as 1. I have considered batch size equal to 1. Then which of the following will be true? If the batch size I have considered as 1, then TS equal to TM or TB equal to TM?
TB equal to TM.
Okay, so నా క్వశ్చన్ అర్థమైంది అనుకుంటున్నాను అన్న. So you agree, most of them responded positively, it is the right answer. So stochastic gradient descent optimization technique will take the more computation time when compared to the mini batch, and mini batch take the more computation time when compared to the batch gradient descent optimization. Now second question I am asking is, suppose if I set my batch size equal to 1, then which of these two will be following? This is the top one or 1 or 2? Which is the right?
TS equal to TM.
Yes, TS equal to TM, because when you set the batch size equal to 1 means your batch contains only one sample, right? Your batch contains only one sample. So So your batch contains the only one sample means, so you have to pass the batch and update the parameter. That means you have to pass the one sample, you have to update the parameter. It is similar to the
TS.
our
TS.
stochastic gradient descent optimization. So TS equal to TM. TS equal to TM. Suppose if my batch size equal to NS is nothing but the number of samples. If my batch size equal to NS is the number of samples, then which of the following will be true, 1 or 2?
TB equal to TM.
TB equal to TM.
Equal to
Because
TM.
you are setting your batch size as a NS, total number of samples. That means all the samples you have taken. All the samples you are taking means it's like a complete batch. It's like a batch gradient descent optimization. In that case, your TB equal to TM. Right? So from this, I want to give one conclusion. That is, stochastic gradient descent optimization will take the more computation time compared to the mini batch, and mini batch take the more computation time when compared to the batch gradient descent optimization. I think you are agree, right, with this statement, right? Now, second thing, among stochastic gradient, mini batch gradient and batch gradient, which have the very frequent parameter updates will be exist, in which algorithm more frequent parameter updates will be happened.
SGD, sir.
SGD, right? So my question is, I am asking among SGD, BGD, MBGD, in which algorithm frequent model parameter updates will be happening. So that will be happening in case of the stochastic gradient, because you are updating the parameter for each sample, right? So suppose if there are someone asking in which algorithm very less frequent model parameter updates will be happened, then that is the batch gradient. Whereas in case of the mini batch gradient, the updations number of times the parameters updated will be lying between stochastic and batch. Already we discussed this thing in here also. Number of updations, right? So in case of the SGD, it is a 10,000. In case of the BGD, it is 100. Whereas in case of the MBGD, it is 1000. So MBGD value is lying between SGD and BGD. So frequent updates will be happening in case of the stochastic gradient, and less frequent updation will be happening in case of the batch gradient. Whereas in case of the mini batch gradient, that is between these two, SGD and BGD. That's the second comparison. Third one is, which model have very oscillationary characteristics. Oscillation, we have the suppose convergence characteristics means convergence characteristics. Suppose if you draw the convergence characteristics or training convergence characteristics of a simple linear regression model with these three algorithms, which model may have the large number of oscillations? Large number of oscillations. I'm asking, so convergence characteristics and intentama, how your model loss will be varying with respect to the iterations. How your
SGD.
model error will be updating with respect to the iterations. So if your curve is very smooth, I will show. Okay, I did some works. I will show those charts. Give me a time. SREC. Here it is, research. I will show GRU. Yeah, fine. View. Logic. Extra logic. So these are called as the convergence characteristics. Right? Suppose this is in case of I am taking the batch size 4. That means number of samples in each batch equal to 4. Then the oscillations will be like this. Your oscillations will be like this because there is more parameter updations. When my batch size is 8, the oscillations will be like this. It was somewhat smooth, right, when compared to this one, right? So this is called convergence characteristics. How your loss function will be varying with respect to the epochs. So my question is, among stochastic gradient descent optimization and mini batch gradient descent optimization and batch gradient descent optimization, in which case you have the more oscillations in the convergence characteristics?
SGD, sir.
That's the SGD. So because in SGD, we are updating your model parameter for every one sample. So that has a more number of oscillations like this. But whereas in case of the BGD, your updation will be very smooth. Updation will be very smooth. Whereas in case of the mini batch, that is lying between these two, stochastic gradient and batch gradient updation. Right? So ఇప్పుడు ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఎట్లా అంటున్నామా, సపోజ్ ఒక ఏ అనే ఒక వ్యక్తికి ఒక టాస్క్ ఇచ్చారనమాట. టాస్క్ ఏంటంటే, ఒక స్ట్రీట్లో ఒక 100 హౌసెస్ ఉన్నాయి. ఆ 100 హౌసెస్లో ఏదో ఒక హౌస్ టెర్రస్ పైన ఒక వెహికల్ ఉంది. ఏ టెర్రస్ పైన వెహికల్ ఉందో ఆ వ్యక్తి కొనుక్కోవాలి. రైట్? సో దెన్ సపోజ్ అతను ఆ స్ట్రీట్లో ప్రతి ఇంటి లోపలికి వెళ్ళి టెర్రస్ పైకి ఎక్కి, అక్కడ లేదు అనుకుంటే మళ్ళీ కిందకి వచ్చి పక్కింటికి వెళ్ళి మళ్ళీ టెర్రస్ పైకి వెళ్ళి చూసుకునేటప్పటికి దిస్ ఇస్ ద వెరీ ఆక్సిలేటరీ వర్క్. రైట్? అప్డేట్ అవుతుంది, ప్రతిసారి అప్డేట్ అవుతుంటాడు. అలా కాకుండా ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏరియల్ వ్యూలో అంటే పైనుండి అతను చూసాడు అనుకోండి, ఓవర్ కంప్లీట్గా 100 స్ట్రీట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, అన్నింటినీ ఒకేసారి అబ్జర్వ్ చేశాడు అనుకోండి. అఫ్కోర్స్ బాటమ్ నుండి చూస్తే అన్నీ కనిపించవు, ఒక పై నుండి అన్నీ ఒకసారి అబ్జర్వ్ చేశాడు అనుకోండి, ఈ కెన్ ఈజీలీ రీచెస్ ఇస్ ఫైనల్ డెస్టినేషన్. రైట్? సో దట్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ ఏ స్మూత్ ఆపరేషన్. వేర్ ఇన్ కేస్ స్టాకాస్టిక్ గ్రేడియంట్ వాట్ ఈస్ డూయింగ్, ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ మనం చేస్తుంది కూడా సెర్చ్ ఆపరేషన్ కదా. సో ఏ పాయింట్ దగ్గర మనకు మినిమం పాయింట్ వస్తుందో, మినిమమ్ హాఫ్ మీన్ స్క్వేర్ వస్తుందో ఆ పాయింట్ మనం కొనుక్కోవడమే సెర్చింగ్ ప్రాసెస్. సేమ్ సెర్చింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ అతను ప్రతి ఇంటికి వెళ్ళి సెర్చ్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, ఈ హ్యావ్ మోర్ ఆక్సిలేషన్స్, మోర్ టైమ్. రైట్? అలా కాకుండా అన్నింటినీ ఒకేసారి పైనుండి అబ్జర్వ్ చేశారనుకోండి, దెన్ ఇట్ విల్ బి సమ్వాట్ స్మూత్ ఆపరేషన్. అన్ని ఆక్సిలేషన్స్ ఉండవు కదా, అన్నిసార్లు మూవ్ అవ్వలేదు కదా. సో దట్ ఇస్ స్మాల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫర్ అవర్ ఆల్గరిథమ్స్ కంపారిజన్. రైట్? But see friends, now I don't tell that batch gradient is far better when compared to the stochastic gradient. But my opinion is most of the people in this here are research scholars. Anyhow, ఒక టాస్క్ మీకు ఇంకొక స్మాల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తాను. Machine learning is similar to machine learning is a part of AI, artificial intelligence, which is taking inspiration from the natural intelligence. ఒక మనిషి, ఒక హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్, హౌ హీ ఈజ్ లెర్న్, సిమిలర్ ఆస్పెక్ట్ వీఆర్ ట్రయింగ్ టు మేక్ ద మెషిన్ టు లెర్న్. అంతే కదా. సపోజ్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ యు ఆర్ ద రీసెర్చ్ స్కాలర్ అండ్ యువర్ సూపర్వైజర్ గివ్ a 2-page document to you. Your supervisor give 2-page document to you. And sir said that you read this 2-page document and you have to present me. Then if you read a word by word, అందులో కంటెంట్ ఏముందో తెలుసుకోవడానికి మీరు వర్డ్ బై వర్డ్ చూసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళారనుకోండి అమ్మా. సో ఇప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ వర్డ్కి సమ్వేర్ ఉన్న వర్డ్కి రిలేషన్ లేకపోవచ్చు, బట్ ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఎ రైట్ చాయిస్. రైట్? వర్డ్ బై వర్డ్ చూడడం కూడా కష్టం. ఇట్స్ నాట్ వీ విల్ నాట్ గెట్ ద ఇన్ డెప్త్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఆఫ్ ద డాక్యుమెంట్. మనం వర్డ్ బై వర్డ్ చూసుకున్నా కానీ, వర్డ్ బై వర్డ్ని గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవడానికి ట్రై చేసినా కానీ ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఎ రైట్ ప్రొసీజర్. అలా కాకుండా 2 pages ఒకేసారి నువ్వు చదివేసి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ గెయిన్ చేయగలమంటే దట్స్ ఆల్సో నాట్ పాసిబుల్. రైట్? దెన్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద రైట్ థింగ్ ఈజ్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు చూస్ సమ్ 2 lines at a time and you have to understand the concept. Later we are going to the next we are going to the next line. Right? అండ్ అర్థమవుతుందని చెప్తుంది. సో మన 2-page డాక్యుమెంట్ అంటే ఇట్స్ లైక్ ఏ బ్యాచ్ సేజ్. ఆల్ 2 pages యూ వాంట్ టు రీడ్ ఎట్ ఎ టైమ్ అండ్ యూ వాంట్ టు గివ్ ఎ ప్రెజెంటేషన్. ఇట్ ఇస్ ఆల్సో ఏ డిఫికల్ట్ టాస్క్. ఇట్ ఇస్ వెరీ డిఫికల్ట్ టాస్క్ టు రీడ్ ఆల్ ద థింగ్స్ ఫ్రమ్ ద ఫస్ట్ page, first word to the last page, last word. You read all the words at a time and you want to present. Then also difficult task. You can't give proper presentation. You can't give proper information what is available in that document. Even though if you go by word, A, BOY, boy, IS, is, so ఒక్కొక్క వర్డ్ కూడా గుర్తు చేసుకొని యూ వాంట్ టు గివ్ ద ప్రెజెంటేషన్, దట్ ఆల్సో రైట్, నాట్ ఎ రైట్ థింగ్. రైట్? సో యూ హ్యావ్ టు చూస్ some batches. That means some batches means either 2 sentences or 1 sentence or 3 sentences at a time and gather the acquire the knowledge what they are presented in the two lines of sentence, and finally you have to give the presentation over a document, right? So whether you are going to the two lines of two statements or three statements or five statements at a time, that is depending upon your capability. That is depending upon your capability, right? So what I'm telling is, so even going for the only stochastic gradient descent optimization also may not work sometimes, and pure batch gradient also may not work sometimes. So you have to try with the multiple batches. So if you want to train your model, you have to try with the multiple batches like this. మీరు ఇక్కడ అబ్జర్వ్ చేశారా? So I will show one paper with you also. Maybe I will give me time here. Maybe you have. So when you are if you are train a model, then it's better to choose with the different batches, and you have to see. Yeah, it is right. So like that, you have to train your model for the multiple batches, different batch sizes, and out of all the training aspects, in which batch case you get the minimum training loss, you have to use that model, the trained model for your real-time prediction, right? So my suggestion is, if you want to design a artificial neural network model or simple linear regression model or multiple linear regression model, whatever it may be, for your forecasting problem. Let's assume you are going to forecast a wind speed. If that is the case, if the data is available, try to split the data into different batches based on the different batch sizes, and you have to train the model for the different batch sizes and observe the mean square error in each case, and which batch size gave the least mean square error, and you have to use that model for the prediction purpose. For the prediction purpose, right? So that is about the mini batch gradient descent optimization. That is one of my suggestion. If you want to train the model, then you have to go with different type of batch sizes, and you have to find the best performance model, and you have to use it in terms of the training. Later you have to use it in the testing side, right? Now we will move to our lab session. See, actually I opened this Google Colab 1 hour before, almost 1 hour before, so it is restarted. We have to reconnect it again. So that's why, suppose if you have the large data set and it take more time, then don't opt this Google Colab, because it will be reconnected after some time. Then you have to start from initial stage. Right? However, I don't know why this program gives a wrong thing. Actually, I tried in the morning session, it's showing perfectly, but now it's showing some wrong things. But anyhow, we will execute. If not, fine. So I will explore it and let you know back, right? Right. Our lab is, let's consider a sample dataset having one input XIA, one output YIA, and total number of samples are 4. Develop simple linear regression model with one iteration. No, we are writing the program, you go with 10,000, whatever it may be, using mini batch gradient descent optimizer. Right? Now, import NumPy package as NP to the matrix operations. Import math as empty to the to use the mathematical functions, and import random function to generate a random number or to assign a random number to model parameters M and C. And this is the data 0.2, 3.4, 0.4, 3.8, 0.6, 4.8, 4.8, 4.6. Right? So now eta equal to 0.01 learning rate, maximum iteration equal to 10,000. So here np dot random dot shuffle of data means it will shuffle the data randomly along the row wise. That means maybe first row go to fourth row go to second row go to third row go to fourth row, randomly shuffling along the row wise. That is doing here. Why I am doing this here, like this is, I have to choose a batch size, right? I have to choose the batches, right? So I want to pick the batches randomly. సో ప్రతిసారి ఫస్ట్ 2 శాంపిల్స్ ఫస్ట్ బ్యాచ్ 3-4 శాంపిల్స్ సెకండ్ బ్యాచ్ కాకుండా ఐ వాంట్ టు ర్యాండమ్లీ జనరేట్ ఏ బ్యాచ్, నాట్ ఫస్ట్ శాంపిల్ సెకండ్ శాంపిల్ ఇన్ ద బ్యాచ్ 1, థర్డ్ శాంపిల్ ఫోర్త్ శాంపిల్ ఇన్ ద బ్యాచ్ 2, like that, not like that. I want to choose some 1-3 in the batch 1, 2-4 in the batch 2, or 1-4 in the batch 1, 2-3 in the batch 2, or 4-2, like that. Like to do that one, I am shuffling the data along the row wise. Right, next. Now you have to define your hyperparameter. You have to define your hyperparameter batch size. You have to define your batch size. Once you define your batch size, you have to calculate the number of mini batches. So number of mini batches equal to data shape of 0. If you keep 0 here, this shows the number of rows. If you keep 1 here, it will show the number of columns. If you keep 0 here, that will show the number of rows in the data. If you keep 1 here, it will show the number of columns in the data. If you want the number of samples, then you have to find the number of rows, so that I am keeping the 0 here. And divided by batch size. I told ns by bs, it will give the n. That is doing here. I am taking this double forward slash to give an integer value. Number of batch count అనేది 2, 3, 4 అని ఉంటుంది, కానీ 2.5, 3.5 అని ఉండదు కదా నాన్న. నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ బ్యాచెస్ ఎన్ని అంటే యూ కెన్ సే 4, 5, 6 like that. But not what are the number of batches means not 5.5. It's not 5.5, right? So to produce that integer number, I am using this one. Now I am developing in a function, define, create mini batches. You have to pass the complete data set, and also you have to pass the batch size. Data set and batch size you have to pass, right? So it's better to keep this one inside. Maybe that is the problem, I think. Sorry అమ్మా, లేట్ అవుతుంది. మేబీ ఈ రాంగ్ రావడం మేబీ ఇది కారణం అనుకుంటున్నా, వన్ ఆఫ్ ది రీజన్. Right? So you have to pass the data and batch sizes, and you have to calculate the number of mini batches. So you have to create a mini batches as a null matrix, no information currently available. Now later you have to update with the batches, mini batches you have to update. Set I equal to 1 if I in range of n batches plus 1. n batches plus 1 number of batches ఎన్ని వస్తాయి ఇక్కడ మనకు 4 samples కదా, 4/2 అంటే 2 samples కదా. సో 2 + 1 అంటే 3. సో రేంజ్ 3 అంటే ఏమొస్తుంది? రేంజ్ 3 మీన్స్ it will go up to 0, 1, 2, right? So what I am doing is I am taking for I in range of mini batches. So see manaku gurtundamma, range of 2 ante it will generate 0 and 1. Okay, so range of 3 ante it will generate 0, 1, 2, like that only. Okay, so now mini batch equal to data of. So this complete code you have to explore, no problem. So if you are not able to understand, please let me know. So this complete code is to generate the mini batches, small batches. So if you execute this one, you will get one batch. So this is a 0.6, 0.2, 4.2, 3.4 are the one batch. 0.6, 0.2, 4.2, 3.4. So ఏమేమి వస్తాయి అమ్మ ఇక్కడ చూడండి, 0.6, 0.2 అంటే ఎక్కడ ఉన్నాయి? సో 0.6, 0.2 అంటే third sample and first sample are in the one batch, and whereas second batch is 0.8 and 0.4. So 0.8 and 0.4 means second and fourth are in the next batch. So like that randomly create the mini batches. So after that what we have to do is we have to find the gradients, right? We have to find the gradients. So to find the gradients, what I am doing here is define derivative is the function name. You have to pass M, you have to pass C, you have to pass data X, that means input, and you have to pass output. Okay, you have to pass the input X and you have to pass the output Y. Because gurtunda gm equal to minus 1 by n sigma equal to 1 to n y minus mx minus c. That means you have to pass y, m, x and c, that is doing here. Now set m derivative some variable equal to 0, c variable equal to 0. So for I in range of c data x and in one batch x values, there are the two batch x values and 0.6, 0.2 coming here, and for data y 4.2 and 3.4 coming here. So in data x you have the two samples and data y you have the two samples because your batch size is 2, right? So later what you have to do, so you have to calculate the gradient, right? So to calculate the gradient you have to sum it. So to do the sum I am doing here, m derivative plus equal to y minus mx minus c into x. That means m equal to m plus this one and c equal to c plus this one. And finally I am divided by length of delta x and I am dividing length of data x. What it means, what I am doing, anyone can tell why I am doing like this? Anyone can tell why I am dividing this term m derivative with length of data x, length of data x?
Divided by number of samples.
Yes,
Sample.
because we have to calculate the 1 by ns kada manaku formula I will show. It is the 1 by n, right? So that for that purpose I am divided with the length of the mini batch, this one. So this is for a gradient calculation for each batch, for each mini batch. Now this is the same for iterating the maximum number of iterations. For see the iter count, iter equal to 1 and cheppam kada, we have to run the iterations over the maximum number of iterations. That is for this for loop. And second for loop is over the batches. Okay na? That means we have to take the first batch, we have to take the second batch. Number of batches 2 ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి, then 0 and 1. 0 and 1 means 0 means first batch, 1 means second batch. So 0th batch we have to call and assign the input and output. And I equal to 1, then second batch you have to call, assign the value of x and y. Now pass this x and pass this y and initial m value and initial c value. Okay, initial m value and initial c value. So after that what it will give? It will give the gradient, right? It gives the gradient. It's coming from here, this function, derivative function. It will give the gradient, gm value. So now delta m equal to, that means step length, delta m equal to minus eta into del underscore m. So what it means? Eta into gradient with respect to m minus eta into gradient with respect to c. Just I am adding to this m. This is called updation. M equal to m plus gm, c equal to c plus gc. Right? So we have to run it over number of iterations. So there is some problem. I will figure it out. But actually we are expecting we have to get 2, 3, right? It is showing some error. I am unable to just now before the session I have gone through it. So I will try to figure it out and let you back know, right? So we don't expect like this. Okay. So I don't want to go to prediction now. Yesterday I getting in the afternoon session I tried. It's giving the right results, but now I am not able to understand why it's getting. But I will figure it out and let you back know. Fine. So this is for the small calculations. Now coming to this one, estimate the housing price based on the square feet area using the simple linear regression model using the mini batch gradient descent optimizer. Right? So entante you have to estimate the price of the house based on the square feet area. You have to estimate the housing price based on its square feet area. Okay na? So from where you get the data? So the link is available. And you have to download the data. So after downloading data, what you have to do? So the data is available here. Yeah. So you have to take the data into the Google Colab environment. Take the data into the Google Colab environment. Housing price data, KC housing price data, where it is, yeah, this one. Now take that data into the runtime environment. Take the data into the runtime environment. So I want to suggest one thing here is, just a minute, it's loading. Because it's a somewhat large data, may take few minutes, I think. So see here, just I am taking my input data in the CSV form into the collaboratory environment, right? Colab environment, right? Suppose if I restart my session, then this Excel file or CSV file will be removed from the current environment. Yesterday we also verified, right? So to avoid that problem, we have to mount our Colab into our own drive. We have to mount our Colab into our own drive. So I will try to explain. Fine, okay. It taking the more time, so that will be coming here, base. So till now, last for stochastic gradient and also for the batch gradient, we tried to upload the data by using this button, right? Now what I want to do is I want to mount my Google Colab onto the drive, onto my own drive. So how we mount our Google Colab onto the drive is, so you can see this third button, third folder. You have to click on that one. So it is showing permit this notebook to access your Google Drive files. Permit this notebook to access your Google Drive files. So connect to Google Drive. Click on the connect to Google Drive. Right? So now drive comes here, right? Drive coming, right? So click here and click my drive. See, you have the data file here because in my drive I have the CSV file. So as I mounted my Colab onto the drive, so all the information available in the drive can be visible here. Right? Now you can call this dataset by using its path. Call this dataset by using this path. So click here, you can copy path and paste here. Paste here. Okay, now run this cell. Now run this cell. Fine, this is the data. What is the advantage of mounting your Colab onto the drive? Anyone can tell? ఈ విధంగా మనం చేయడం వల్ల మనకు ఉన్న అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఏంటమ్మా?
ప్రతిసారి ఫైల్ అప్లోడ్ చేయాల్సి వస్తుంది.
సో మన డేటా ఫైల్ మన డ్రైవ్లో ఉంటే సరిపడుతుంది. వీ కెన్ కాల్ దట్ డేటా ఫైల్ బై యూజింగ్ ఇట్స్ పాత్, దట్స్ ఎనఫ్. సో ప్రతిసారి మనము ఫైల్ ఏమో అప్లోడ్ చేయని అవసరం లేదు. ఓకే, సో ఫర్ దట్ పర్పస్ యూ కెన్ మౌంట్ ద డ్రైవ్ ఆన్, యూ కెన్ మౌంట్ యువర్ Colab onto any drive. That's better. Now in the data set you have the multiple features, right? So multiple features means number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, square living feet and square lawn, floors and everything. So this is actually for a bigger problem. We can attempt this problem by using the multilinear regression model or by using the artificial neural network model. Okay, but we are working on the simple linear regression model, right? So for that purpose, what I want to take is I want to take only this column, square living feet, square feet living and also price. So this is the input, and based on this input I want to estimate the price. I want to calculate or estimate the price, right? So to do that one, what I am doing is I am creating a variable df that's equal to data. This is the data. From this data you have to take the price column and also take the square feet living column. Take these two. Okay, so feed that one to the df variable. Now df is a data frame which contains the only two columns. So I will run this cell. See, only two. One is the price, another is the square feet. 0th index is the price, one index is the square feet living. I am not working on the complete data set. I am taking the only two columns and I am taking that on the two columns only. I am working on the two columns only because I am working on the simple linear regression model, one input and one output. So here my square feet living is the input. Based on this input I want to predict its price. I want to predict this price, right? Fine. What next? Next time cheyalana data available undi. What next? What we have to do? Once data is available, what you have to do?
Initialize parameters.
That's okay. Now we are working on the data one first.
Normalization. sir.
Yes, perfect. Good. So we have to do the
Normalization.
normalization. So that is happening here. We have to normalize the data set. Okay? na? So this is similar to the BGD and MBGD. This process is similar to the BGD and SGD. Normalize the data. So what next after normalization? After normalization, we have the data. We normalize the data. Or after next, what we have to do?
Training
You
and
have to
testing.
split into train set and training and test.
Perfect. So we have to split the data as a training data set and testing data set, right? So that is done here. SQL. So we are ఇప్పుడు అది చెప్పండి ఇక్కడ నేను 1 ఎందుకు పెట్టాను ఇక్కడ 0 ఎందుకు పెట్టాను చెప్పగలరు ఎవరైనా while passing the train test split method I am passing the some parameters like this is the 1, this is the 2 and test size is the 3 and random state is the 4, right? Now so you know test size is equal to 0.1 means you want to consider 90% of data samples to the training and 10% of samples to the testing. You agree? And random state means randomly pick the same number of samples multiple times. Whenever you are executing this code, it will take the same number of samples again also. Now my question is why I am keeping 1 here and why I am keeping 0 here? Normalize the df dot ilog colon comma 1, normalize the underscore df dot ilog colon comma 0. Why I am keeping here?
First column and 0th column.
Why can I keep 0 here, 1 here?
No, sir. First one you are taking x as square feet and y as
Right,
price.
good. So our x is the square feet which is in the second column, that means first index, and y is in the first column, that means 0th index. So that's why we are taking like this colon comma 1 and colon comma 0. Now we execute this one. Maybe I forget to run this cell. Okay, I will execute all the cells at a time. Now from here it is all are same, right? So numpy array, math library, random library, initialize m and c, eta value. I am just putting the maximum number of iterations equal to 5. Why? I am taking the maximum number of iterations equal to 5 because it is a large data set and the Google Colab will take the large time to train the model over the 10,000 iterations. If you give 10,000 iterations similar to the BGD and SGD, where we are working on the data set as a small data set, but here it is a large data set. So large data set ante meeku enni samples unnayo telusa indulo? I will run it. I will show how many number of samples are there. Yeah, చూసారు ఎన్ని నెంబర్ శాంపిల్స్ ఉన్నాయో 19,451 samples in the training and 2,162 samples in the testing. So because of the large data set, it may take a large time to run on the Google Colab. So you can try it later with large number of maximum number of iterations. You can keep maximum number of iterations 100 or 10,000. Try how much time it will take me. But for the demonstration, I am just taking the 5 iterations, only 5 iterations here. Okay? But don't expect that you will get the better performance with the 5 iterations. Okay? But only time constraint, I am keeping the maximum number of iterations equal to 5. If you have a high-end computer or if your Google Colab supports you, then you can go with the high number of iterations. And batch size equal to 32. Batch size equal to 32. Okay. So now execute. Okay, forget about this one. And this is the same code which I discussed in the previous case. Okay. So this is mini batch creation, for the mini batch creation. And later this is the gradient calculation, GM and GC calculation for each mini batch. For each mini batch, it will calculate the gradient similar to the what we discussed in the small example. And now this is the iterative algorithm over a maximum number of samples, over all the batches, over a maximum number of samples and over all the batches. So you have to run this code. ఇది మనకు తెలిసింది m ఈక్వల్ టు m ప్లస్ డెల్టా m ఈక్వల్ టు మైనస్ ఏటా ఇంటూ డో ఎఫ్ బై డో ఎమ్ ఆర్ డో ఈ బై డో ఎమ్. సో m ఈక్వల్ టు m మైనస్ ఏటా ఇంటూ డో ఈ బై డో ఎమ్, c ఈక్వల్ టు c మైనస్ ఏటా ఇంటూ డో ఈ బై డో c, రైట్? So you have to run this one. So from here rest of the code is same. you have to convert the X train, Y train, X test, Y test into the matrix, and you have to calculate the Y predicted output on the training data set. You have to calculate the predicted output on the testing data set, similar to the SGD and BGD. And you have to calculate the mean square error and mean absolute error, and you have to calculate the mean square error and mean absolute error on the testing data set, and finally you have to predict. You have to predict using MX plus C. So before prediction, I told na, so if you think your model training performance is good, then what you have to do, so don't feed the input as it is to the model. Before feeding the input to the model, you have to normalize it. Now feed the input to the model. Now take the output from the model. Don't give the output as it is. You have to denormalize it. Then only you will get the actual value. So those things will be happening here. So this is called as denormalization, and this is called as normalization. Normalization of the input and denormalization of the model output you have to do. Fine. So we will try to execute all the cells from here. Yeah, from here I will try runtime, run after. Yeah, so you can give some value here. So housing data, right? Entunda మన దగ్గర housing data inputs somewhere. I want to give 1180. I want to give 1180. So give the square feet area 1180 square feet area. Then it will give some output. It is showing. See, it is showing the negative value because we are not properly trained. We have not properly trained, right? We are trained this one for only 5 epochs. Suppose if I put 100 epochs, where the maximum number of, I want to keep here 100 epochs, then, and run time, run after. Maybe it will take more time, I think. What happened? X mini ilag numpy dot nd array object has no attribute. So sorry, we have to run from the here. Oh, run from here on the right. Right? So if the model performance is not happy, not good, then you have to change your learning rate, or you have to increase your maximum number of iterations, or you can change your batch size. So we have to tune the parameters. Those are called as hyperparameters. You have to tune those parameters. Now from here I want to run after. So somewhere, right, it's showing that 3,63,809, but actual value is some 2,21,900. And error check cheyadam, error ela vastundi. You have to check your errors. So errors are 0.034, 0.012 and 0.02. whereas testing error are 0.034, 0.00115. So still there is a problem in the model. So you have to retrain it, not predicting properly, right? So the price is something in the terms of 2,21,000, but it is 3,63,000. Okay, so you have to train the model for the more. See, previously we were getting the negative value, right? At least it was somewhat better when compared to the previous. Previously we are running the algorithm for the 5 times, but now we are running the algorithm for the 100 times, somewhat better improvement. So we have to tune the parameters. We have to tune the parameters, right? So
we can run for 1,000 epochs, like
madam,
epochs. If you run for iterations, should be more like if you go for 1,000, as you said, it will take long time.
yes, madam. We can try, madam. We can try, and I request you all try to explore by changing your learning rate. By changing your learning rate, I am keeping the learning rate as a 0.9. You can keep 0.1 also. You can keep 0.1 and run this algorithm. How it will be. So we have to run from the starting. You have to start from. You have to run from here. You have to run from here. So now it is 8:30. Yeah, please try to run this code in multiple times, or you can apply this code for your problem also. On which problem you are working. Sir, can you someone keep mute, please? Yeah. So we see the main thing is the subject, how simple linear regression model works and how optimizer will works. It is common for all, but we have to tune the parameter. That is the important task. We have to tune the parameters. You have to tune the learning rate. You have to tune the batch size. You have to tune the maximum number of iterations, so that you will get the almost similar output, predicted output, almost not exactly equal, at least near to the actual output. We have to tune our parameters, right? And moreover, the price is depending upon the only not square feet area. It is depending upon the number, some other features also. As we discussed here, the price is depending upon some other features like bedrooms and all these parameters also. It will depends. So that's why maybe a simple model may not give the more accurate results. Then we have to improve the complexity of the model also to give the accurate results for your application. If that is the case, everyone will try to use simple linear regression model only. We have to no need to go for the multiple or ANN or CNN or RNN like that. Right? So we have to explore those things. But actually, the main motto of this course is to enable you, all of you, how model parameters will be updated using the various optimization algorithms. The code will be available with you. Try to explore it. Fine. Yeah, thank you. I want to close this session for today, and we will meet tomorrow.